I'm sorry. That's a phrase I often hear when I tell people abroad that I live and work in Russia. But really, how wrong could they be? It's been over 15 years since the fall of the former Soviet Union, and today Russia has exploded into a new world with new and endless possibilities.
And with temperatures from -30 to +30, what exactly is out there?
If you're looking for something different to do in Moscow, then venturing a little further outside the centre opens up an array of fun activities. Leaving the traditional excursions behind, that's what we're talking about on this week's programme, adrenaline-filled Days Out in Moscow.
From the Fast and the Furious to high above the sky, fasten your seatbelts for Moscow excursions with a difference.
And this is the Solaris Entertainment Centre, about 10 kilometres outside Moscow. And you can see what activity they enjoy here. What do you think? He seems to be having fun. Good job it's not snowing.
This venue has a special 3-level track, which is also the longest club karting track in Russia, almost 1 kilometre long. And what's very important, the track has many facilities to keep both experienced and amateur drivers safe.
So you want to increase that heartbeat of yours. There are hundreds of activities you can enjoy, from zorbing to parachuting out of the sky to paintballing. You know it, Moscow has it. But there are my top 3 activities.
In a paintball club, you can not only fight against each other, actually a team game is much more fun. The Top Gun Club, as it's called, boasts several playgrounds, which were developed by top European paintball specialists. There are reproductions of old forts, a cowboy village, a deep forest, and even a field imitating space. Up to 80 people can play on one of these at any individual time, and the game is also in great demand for team-building events. Don't miss a chance to shoot one of your colleagues.
Well, that looks fun to me, but if you don't fancy that, then this is your number 2 option.
One of humans' oldest dreams, to fly, can now come true. If you've always wanted to fly, and we're not speaking of sitting in a plane, an aerodynamic tunnel might be a good choice for a remarkable day out. No parachute is needed. In a special wind tube, one of its kind in Russia, you control your own body in conditions that feel like free fall. Minimal training is needed before your free-fall experience, and anyone can try it, even children from 3 years old. Be ready to pay for the fun though. A 2-minute fly in the tube will cost you 1,200 rubles, which is around $50.
But if you're looking for something a little bit more dramatic, this third and final option will certainly whet your appetite. Let's take for the skies. Let's just hope the weather is okay so you can enjoy the beautiful Russian landscape in a hot air balloon.
Fancy seeing the Moscow region from a bird's eye view? Then ballooning might be a good choice for you. Unfortunately, flights in the Moscow sky are forbidden to amateurs, but some towns outside the capital also have amazing views, especially if you're as high as 500 meters in the sky. No special training is required. You can try it yourself. The pilot will operate the balloon while you're enjoying complimentary champagne, or you can share the experience with family or friends. The biggest balloon can fit up to 8 passengers, and the flight lasts for about an hour, with prices starting up from 5,000 rubles, around $200 per person. Just wrap up warm.
Well, back down on Earth with feet safely on the ground, here are a list of events you can enjoy in Moscow. Here's Jadwiga Domahovskaya with next week's What's On Guide.
Some world-famous music bands will make their appearances in Moscow next week. English rockers Whitesnake, formed in late 1970s, promise a real hard rock share at the B1 Maximum Club. Before establishing his own band, Whitesnake's lead singer David Coverdale performed with the legendary Deep Purple. Now the musician is nearly 60, but boasts as fire energy as years before. For those music lovers who are more into lounge music than hard rock, there is another big concert option in Moscow. German jazz ensemble The Fuzz, known for using electronic music, soul and even trip-hop elements in their band's sound, will perform at the Luzhniki Stadium. Apart from some permanent members, the cast of The Fuzz changes every album, so check out who's in the group this time. An outstanding man exploring a different character trait. World-famous belly dancer Mikhail Baryshnikov, who's also played in movies and performed on Broadway, is less known as a photographer. Now an exhibition of his photographs of dancers performing pieces of famous choreographer Merce Cunningham is on show. The belly dancer once swore he would never come back to Russia, but his works of art did. The display, called Merce My Way, is on at Moscow's Pobeda Gallery until the end of January. And something to feast moviegoers' eyes on. The Golden Palm Award-winning film opens in Moscow's cinemas. The French drama Entre les Murs is literally translated as Between the Walls, but has the international alternative title The Class. This project was widely praised at the Cannes Film Festival this year and is expected to be successful at the Oscars. It's the story of a relationship and communication between a teacher and a class of students at one of the multi-ethnic schools in Paris. The film is remarkable for its acting, which is performed basically by non-actors, as the students were cast from the street and simply improvised in front of the camera. If you're into more Hollywood-style movie and want to watch a film in English, the latest story of the famous 007 agent is on for ye. Moscow's Dome Cinema shows new adventures of James Bond in Quantum of Solace, undubbed every day next week. Shaken and not stirred, Martin, it's back to you at the go-karting track.
Well, some fun things to do there, but now it's my turn to take to the wheel. Michael Schumacher, eat your heart out.
Spasibo, Van. Get my trousers and jacket. Perfect, thank you. Now, 10 minutes of go-karting here costs 500 rubles, which is around $20. I think that's kind of expensive. But while I get changed into my groovy-looking outfit, here's this week's Moscow Out Challenge.
Good shot. This is Vera, a German expat. She's been living in Moscow for 3 years. And next up is Michael, a Czech visitor who's been working in Moscow for a year. He brings along his childhood friend Michael, who's a tourist. So we present this week's Moscow Out Challenge. Does Moscow have Western standard fun and exciting excursions? And what are the standards like in comparison? First, we invite the guys to enjoy paintballing outside Moscow, while Vera is going to try her hand at horse riding in the centre of the Russian capital. So it's on with the combat gear, and off they go. Meanwhile, Vera meets her horse called Silhouette, one of the riding school's favourites, as he's known to be really friendly and easy to deal with. Vera then enters the arena, meets her instructor and gets on the horse. So far, so good. But in Moscow, this is not a cheap hobby. A one-year subscription with unlimited lessons will cost you 270,000 rubles, which is about $10,000 US. What does Vera think so far?
I'm a very happy bunny. I love horse riding, and I really didn't have the opportunity to go in Moscow until I find these stables. They have excellent horses, the instructor is very good, and it's pretty much in the city center, so it's not too much of a hassle. I've been horse riding pretty much all my life and didn't have the opportunity in the past year in Russia. I went to Kyrgyzstan in summer, which was also beautiful, but here it's a nice opportunity to ride on a beautiful horse.
Well, I've got number 11 here. I'm ready for the 11 times I'm about to crash. Wish me luck.
Meanwhile, at the go-karting track, I'm hating my time here. Okay, I admit it now, I don't have a driving licence. Ow.
Well, I wonder how our paintballing friends are getting on.
Bullyballing started to develop in Russia only several years ago, but it has already become a popular way to spend a weekend. The rules are simple. If you see a stain of paint on your counterpart, he or she is dead.
Here I am.
You can see here all the activities have high standards, are safe and are fun. Let's see what Vera and the guys have to say about the first action-packed activity in Russia.
Oh man. Well, that was great. Yeah, we should have taken better shoes. Yeah. And also we should have maybe come a little bit earlier because it was getting dark towards the end. But man, we have wasted all energy.
I had a lovely time here today going horse riding. Horse riding always makes me happy, and it's just a beautiful stable. It's a true oasis in Moscow, just off Belaruski Vokzal, very secluded, beautifully maintained, just perfect.
Moscow people seem to be a very active folk, so we went past some parks, we saw people still now, despite the cold weather, they were running, and cycling, so that was quite, I was impressed, that people are very active, lead a very active lifestyle. And I think as a capital and one of the most important cities in the world, you have many, many different activities that you can do over the weekend.
That was absolutely fantastic. And if you want any more information on any of the events featured on today's programme, check out our website, www.russiatoday.com, Moscow Out section. And I'll see you at the same time next week.